Hello everybody, welcome to our studio show here live on MXGP-TV with me, Paul Malin and Lisa Leyland. It's round 2, the MXGP of Lombardia, and we are back at Mantova. Not been here in a while, apparently, but we are back here. It's round 2, and our guest today, we've got Simon Längenfelder, who just happens to be leading the MX2 World Championship after the first round. We've got Seewer coming in, and a guy called Phillips from MX Vice. Look forward to that one as well. But before we start, Lisa, here we are. Back in Italy, Mantova, the scene of what was such a dramatic final round last year. And it's warm. Well, it was warm when we wrote the script.
It was warmer. It's a little bit cold in the studio today, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But it is warmer. It's nice to be outside and not be like
yeah,
like
they've turned the heating off in here as well.
Yeah, but this is like our home away from home, isn't it, really, at the moment?
And but also, it's round 2. How good was the racing last week at Matterley?
There was some close racing, wasn't there?
There
and some unusual suspects that are in the mix now, which is making it more interesting, isn't it?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? But let's get on with the show and welcome our first guest then, Simon Längenfelder from Red Bull Gas Factory Racing. And very much the man of the moment. Perfect weekend for you last week. Has it sunk in yet, what you achieved last weekend?
Yes, for sure. You need to be quick with that, I would say, because the race is coming up. It was only the first round from 20 rounds, so yeah, not much to say about this about the season. But I'm looking forward to all the other races in the other countries, and this is gonna be my first season. Also having the overseas races in Argentina and all the other ones. I'm looking forward to those.
Cool. Obviously, winning the qualifying race on Saturday, did that give you a nice confidence boost, knowing that you could win a race on Sunday, whether it was Matterley or here or sometime in the future?
Yes, it gave me to think that I could win also the races, but most of the time I was more thinking about why was not this the first race. But yeah, made it happen also in the races then, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like Paul said, it was the perfect weekend for you, Simon. Tell us about race 1, because you made it look easy, but I'm guessing it probably wasn't easy at all.
The track was really difficult in Matterley, I would say, because you have the fast parts where you think sometimes you're fast, but then you take a longer way and it's much slower. So you need to really think while riding. But also the ruts and all the bumps weren't easy and really deep.
And race 2, a bit tougher than the first one, I imagine.
Oh, yes, for sure. The second one, I was on the limit. But I would say also Tom and Iago, they were giving it all.
Well, obviously, we have footage from that second race. Another foxhole shot, 3 on the weekend from qualifying, race 1 and race 2. But like I say, a more difficult race because Tom was pushing early on. And unlike the first race where you led every lap, Tom made a challenge but then made a mistake trying to escape from you. What were you thinking? Obviously, later on, then you passed him back. That was a good move, by the way, because you left the door quite open and he came in, but you had a plan.
Yeah, I watched the race also after, and I let the door open a little bit too much there. You never thought that the rider is so close behind you there. And then I say, yeah, I go outside. It's more easy out of the corner, and also you make a little bit more time in the jumps, and you're setting up for the next corner a little bit better. But I guess the inside would be the better option.
And on the last lap, a little bit of pressure from Iago, but you managed the pressure well, I thought.
Yes, I was also happy how I managed the situation. I was just doing my thing, trying to look in front and yeah, going as fast as possible.
Yeah. Obviously, when you won here, you were the first German rider to win in MX2 since Kenny Roczen. That was August 21st, 2011, 10.5 years ago, or 3,843 days. And he also did it with a 1-1, same as you. Did you know that at the time?
No, I didn't know anything. No. I just heard it also from you that it was like almost 11 years ago, and it was Kenny also on this track, which I think is quite cool.
Yeah,
did you work out those days?
I did. I counted.
You have way too much time on your hands, Paul.
I wish I had more time on my hands.
After that weekend, Simon, you posted some really nice photos on Instagram. Just tell us who were the people in the photos and what were their response to your weekend, your family and your friends?
Yeah, for sure. With my family, my girlfriend, my yeah, my whole crew behind the team, Davide here,
Yeah.
here my mom, and also my mechanic. But yeah, the team is so many people and so many people working and helping each other for such a long time, for such a long winter, preparing so much the whole winter and everything. And then it's nice when you have a good result to give something back to them. But
Yeah.
Obviously, moving to the Decali team in the winter, how much has that sort of changed you as a person, as a rider? I guess you're riding more than ever, maybe training more or training differently. How important has this team been for you to be ready for that next step?
For sure, it was really important. It was a step, I would say. We did some great work in the winter, also at the home track in Malagrotta, all the other tracks. With riding, physical training, I guess we did a good job. I'm feeling fit right now. Also in mentally, I felt really fit and also could push in the late motor, which I'm very happy about.
Okay, and before we go, you've been out on track, you've had free practice. How was it this morning here in Mantova? A little bit harder than normal, it looks.
Yes, I was yesterday walking the track, and they didn't put water down, but they put it over the night. Now it's actually perfect from the ground, but I think for racing it's a little bit better when it's a little bit more deep, not so hard underneath. But yeah, right now I guess we'll get enough bumps and ruts for sure.
All right. Well, look, Simon Längenfelder, championship leader in MX2, obviously. Red Bull Gas Factory Racing. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy the rest of the season, and hopefully there's more podiums and more Grand Prix victories for you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Right, we'll speak to our next guest in a few moments, but before we do, here's highlights from MX2 Race 2, MXGP of Great Britain 1 week ago. Längenfelder gets another good jump. It was he who grabbed the foxhole shot in race 1, and it looks like he's going to be assured of doing the same thing in race 2. Can he hold the nice tight line? Yes, he can. Längenfelder 2 for 2. Vial right behind him. Jago Kietz, Hogmo, the two Husqvarnas once again of De Wolf and Van der Moosdijk. Vial having a sneaky look down the inside of Längenfelder. And he gets alongside the German, and he's going to find his way past as well. Finally, Tom Vial comes alive. Here's Kai de Wolf down the inside of Gifting, nudges him aside, and Kai de Wolf now up into 6th place. The number 93 Yamaha of Jago Kietz as he launches back downhill again, and Vial has thrown away the lead. All of a sudden, Längenfelder leads again. Oh, he just jumped out of the rut. Threw it down, picked himself up, kept hold of the handlebars, pulled the clutch in. He's now put himself under immense pressure. So Längenfelder leads on lap 4, and Hogmo makes a mistake. Kietz is going to be bar to bar, side by side, and he goes past the Norwegian and into 3rd place. So drama then at the end of lap 4 and the start of lap 5. Oh, Hogmo over the bars. He picks himself up though and rejoins the race. Less than a second as they hit the line, and again Vial, he's he face plants the dirt on the way down. That hands second position to Jago Kietz, and a crucial advantage for Längenfelder. And Simon Längenfelder gets on the gas, he hooks another gear, he takes the finish line, he goes 1-1 to win his first Grand Prix in MX2. It has been the absolute perfect weekend for Längenfelder.
Yes, thank you very much. I had a good start again, 3 hole shots this weekend, and then Tom passed me, but a few laps later he made a little mistake. I could use for overtaking him again, and then from there on I was just going as fast as possible, as mistake-free as possible, and then got the win in the end. Super happy with going 1-1 at the first round, and thank you all.
3rd overall, Jago Kiet. Tom Bial, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Simon Längenfelder, Red Bull Gas Factory Racing. What a dream start. Takes his first trophy of the season. And it's a winner's trophy here after having the perfect day at Matchley Basin. A successful day at the office at round 1 as they leave here with the championship leaders red plate. Hello everybody, welcome back to our live studio show here on MXGP-TV and Facebook as well, I believe. We've got our second guest in, Jeremy Seewer from Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MXGP, and Jeremy Seewer sits 3rd in the championship at the moment. Last weekend looked fairly solid in Great Britain. Were you happy with how the weekend went overall?
First of all, hi everybody, and yeah, I was. I mean, this sounds like I'm 3rd in the championship, but we've been, you know,
yeah.
it's one race, but I'm very happy how I started the season, you know, consistent and good speed. I was, you know, in the mix. Of course, I could have get a few points more, especially first moto. But I will take the podium, and it's a good start, you know, and like I said, many races to come.
Sure. Your starts looked on point, specifically. Is that something you've been working on during the off-season?
I mean, my starts are always good, but I just try to make them more and more consistent, you know, because you can't afford to have a false start and, you know, mess it up. You always, I mean, we all know you can't hold shot every moto. I mean, this is humanly impossible, but you just want to be as far in the front as possible, and I managed 3 very good starts last weekend, and I try to do the same here.
Well, you kept us on the edge of our seats in that first race in Matterley with that close battle with Tim. It was fantastic to watch until 2 laps to go. Just tell us what happened when you fell.
Honestly, I thought it was my fault in the beginning. I just lost the front because there was a wet spot right before the ruts. But I analyzed the crash this week, and honestly, I didn't really do anything wrong. What happened is my front, the rut got deeper and deeper, and my front got stuck with the fork guard, let's say, and lifted my rear coming into the corner, and my rear went like light and off the rut, and there it went, and I just fall. Like something very silly, you know, but it happened. I mean, beside that, I felt strong, you know. I took the lead from Jorge. I made a good race. Okay, some better laps, some worse laps. Then Tim catched me. I changed a few lines, so I thought I got him. He didn't find a spot to pass me. Luckily, I changed the line before the waves. I mean, I couldn't listen to Paul, you know, but afterwards he was like, next lap we will get him. But no, I changed my line. So. But it was 1.5 lap to go, and this happened, so yeah.
And when you got up, you then had to deal with your teammate, Maxime Renault. It was an intense end to the race, wasn't it, for you?
It was. I mean, I went up, and first thing, look over your shoulder. I said, he's there, lucky bum, in front of him. And I thought, okay, I need to get my rhythm. I had no idea in what rhythm he was in. Is he coming from the back, catching? Is he fading? But after he tried for a few corners, and then he dropped back straight away. And so I knew, wow, okay, he's not there.
Yeah. And obviously you can see the water that was on the left side. It looked like they had a broken water pipe or something like that. So we could see that every lap.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw your Instagram Live on Monday. And you mentioned you have a new trainer, a new ride coach, and this kind of thing. I bumped into him yesterday. He's a former Yamaha legend. Tell us about this deal.
You know, coming in 2022, I just wanted to make sure I do everything I possibly can, you know. And I've done the last years for many aspects, but I just knew I can do better, and I need to find a few little tweaks, and that was one of them. Once I knew Jackie is free, you know, I gave him a call and I said, listen, can this happen? And yeah, he took a few weeks, and now we are here. And I've been working with him in the past with Yamaha, not personal, but still, I knew how he was. And yeah, I think he's the perfect guy, you know, to have.
What are the kind of things that have changed then in terms of, you know, the riding side and maybe even diet? Have you had to change diet, for instance, as well?
I did. Nothing to do with him, but I did also. I mean, that was another point that had to do with what I had last year, where I came from. I tried to understand. I went to different doctors, and I found out a lot about my body, and yeah, the diet is one part of it. And now with Jackie, you know, the riding part is just some new things. You know, he's working a little bit different, working more on corners, on style, on lines. He's very smart, very, you know, understanding a lot, and we match very good for that. Like, we are on the same level, and this is, yeah, super fun.
And just briefly, are you seeing the benefits of that in that short space of time already?
I do. I mean, honestly, I came to Alghero, first preseason race, and we had, I think, 10 days together, me and Jackie. It's not too much because, yeah, the off-season was super short, but people, they came to me and they said, yeah, you look different this year. And I'm like, no, I'm the same. I'm Jeremy Seewer, like always. No, you look different on the bike. So I took it as a compliment, so I think we did change something, you know.
Good.
Okay, well, more from Jeremy in a moment, but here's a quick reminder of how you can get involved with MXGP-TV this year, because MXGP is back, and so is the two-day format on MXGP-TV, which can only mean one thing. We are back to normal again. As well as our studio show today, we will be live with the first races of the opening rounds of WMX and EMX 250, plus the MX2 and MXGP qualifying races to round out the day. And we will, of course, be live on Sunday with the rest of the action of WMX and EMX, as well as MX2 and MXGP. So all those details are on our website as well. But Jeremy, talking about the two-day format, is that something that you have missed over the past 2 years or not?
I did and I did. I mean, the way how we raced last 2 years, we had to go for one day. It was impossible. But I missed it somehow because it just brings a bit more, you know, coolness to it, more relaxed, you know. We can go on a free practice. We can set up the bike, take our time, read the track, try different lines. Before it was 5 laps and hammer down, go time, you know. So now this is a lot more relaxed and it makes it better for the fans. I can take more time for them on a Saturday, take some selfies, don't be in a rush to hurry anywhere, you know. So I think it's a big advantage for our sport. It's just, you know, for me the quali race is a bit a questionnaire, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And before we go, obviously you, Maxime, Renault and Glenn Koldenoff, teammates, 3rd, 4th, 5th in the championship. I know we've only had one round, but it seems like you've got quite a competitive awning this year over at the Blue Crew Corner.
Sure, we definitely did our homework. Also with our bikes, we are doing well. I mean, it's basically the same bikes in a few years, but we keep finding new things, good things, and yeah, happy to see the Blue Crew all up front. You know, it's not been like that the previous years, so it's very positive.
All right. Well, look, Jeremy Seewer, thanks for joining us, and all the best this weekend and for the rest of the season. And yeah, see if you can improve on last weekend. But we are only round 2 as well, by the way.
Yes, yes.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Well, look, that was Jeremy Seewer. In a moment, we'll catch up with one of his buddies, actually, Phillips from MX Vice, and we'll hear what he has to say on last week's GPs. But before we do, let's see some MXGP highlights from Race 2, Matchley Basin. We've got the green flag here from our FIM race director. The Fly Race in 15-second board up for the final time today. It looks like it's going to be Prado again. New lines, and from out of nowhere he gets alongside Jeremy Seewer, has a cheeky look back at the Swiss rider as well and said, no, I'm coming through. Controls the line as well, and Geiser now up in the 3rd place. A nice low line did Tim Geiser as he reached the top of the hill. He found his way past Koldenoff. Meanwhile, here's Maxime Renault. Oh, and he goes down. Maxime Renault charges down the inside of Beaton. He's hard on the brakes. He has to control the line in the turn. He does just that. Beaton tried to get around him, though. Quick look over the shoulder. Renault says no way. But Geiser will hop up onto the bank around the outside, catches a braking bump. He's got good corner speed there. Can he get the line around the outside? Yes, he can. He goes around the outside of Prado and takes the lead. Effortless move from the 243. Oh, yes, he does. Faceplant gets trapped under the bike as well. Prado will just say, you know what, 3.5 seconds, I'll eat that back up, thank you very much. He's going to do this, isn't he? He's going to do it. Geiser is right back where he needs to be as we head into the final 2 laps. Oh, absolutely nothing in it. 2/10 as they hit the line. Geiser looks ahead. What can he do here? Is he going to make the same line choice and the same pass? He tries, but this time Prado reads it. He took him as wide as he could before he had to get back online. And Prado wins the race. Geiser all over the back of him, 1/2 second exactly between the two of them. As Geiser wins the Grand Prix, Prado wins the race. And that, you can see what it means to Geiser. Arms off the side of the bike as if to say, why though, why? Koldenhoff 3rd, Siewer 4th. Tim Geiser just a few points clear then of Jorge Prado, with Jeremy Seewer, Maxime Renault and Glenn Koldenhoff rounding out the top 5.
Tim Geiser!
Antonio Alia Patella, the FIM CMS director, handing another championship leader's red plate to Tim Geiser, Team HRC. He leaves Matterley Base in round 1 with 47 points and the championship lead. Hello everybody, welcome back to our final part on our live studio show here on MXGP-TV with me, Paul Malin, and Lisa Leyland, where our final guest is now joining us, Lewis Phillips from MX Vice. And Lewis, just a couple of talking points from the season opener, but in MX2, one word, Längenfelder.
Yeah, it's Längenfelder's world. We're all just living in it at this point. Yeah, you always want surprises, don't you, at the start of a season? Like, that's kind of a hope, a dream. Rarely do we get them. That was about as big a surprise as you could possibly want.
Didn't see it coming then.
I don't think anyone even had him on the podium, let alone winning everything, leading everything, whole-shotting everything, doing everything.
Yeah.
Well, Lewis, good to see you. Nice to have you on the show. But let's talk about that second race. He really outsmarted the master of the smart, Tom Vial, and he showed some real maturity and calm in his riding, didn't he?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, though, by that point in the weekend, he had done it enough where maybe it had become the norm a little bit for him. He even said it to me after the race, that by that point, maybe he started to believe a little more. It had become a bit more comfortable. Obviously, having Vial right behind you is not a comfortable situation for anyone in the MX2 class. He is the ultimate threat, the ultimate just worry for everyone on that starting line. But the way that he handled that situation was maybe bigger than the win in my mind, because if he can handle that pressure, respond to that pressure, then what does that mean for the title race? Because that is the type of pressure he's going to have to learn how to deal with, and it seems like he can already do that.
And obviously, he put then Tom Vial under pressure, because then it was Vial that made the mistake. Tom Vial wasn't, he was undeterred though, wasn't he? Came back for more. I thought he'd leave the door wide open here on that final lap or so, Simon, but he had a plan, cut back to the inside, and Tom really had to go to work, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think Tom expected that, to be honest. He wasn't 100% coming in. Obviously, a shorter off-season for everyone, but especially for him. A new bike for KTM. So he said, he was quite open, saying he wasn't 100%. So I don't think he expected to win. So actually, the position that he left Matterley in, I think, is just fine. Nothing to worry about, nothing to really overthink. No. He's right where he needs to be championship-wise.
Okay, and Kevin Hawkmo, what did you make of his performance?
I'm excited. I think I might be more excited about Kevin than Simon, because I don't think I expected that more so than Simon. Like, he had top 3 speed, the raw speed was there. And I feel like he could do some serious damage. He will be the next surprise, put it that way. Yeah,
and obviously his move back to MX250 last year has obviously done him a world of good, because he's now coming in with a load of confidence. Good team as well, with a good bike. You can't rule out Jargo Kietz either, can you? And what about the Husqvarnas as well? Kai de Wolf and Roman Mostijk, they ran it out 4th and 5th. What did you make of that trio?
Yeah, I think the Nissan Husqvarna factory racing duo are two of the most exciting riders in the MX2 class. Very similar points in their career, both Dutch, both one moto win to their name, both did it at Lommel. Very, very similar. But I also think the sky is the limit with both riders. So could they win the championship? Sure. Wouldn't surprise me. Will they get a medal at the end of the year? Sure. Again, it wouldn't surprise me. The sky is really the limit, which is exciting to follow, I think, over the next 19 rounds, because I really don't know how far they're going to go.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving to MXGP, we just had Jeremy on the show. We did see that exciting race between Jeremy and Tim. What did you make of that performance?
I thought it was good to see Jeremy come in at the level he finished last season. Obviously, last year was horrific for him. His body was basically falling apart by the middle part of the season, just countless problems. So he entered the shorter off-season maybe feeling more fresh, stronger than the others, and that kind of showed at Matterley. For him to come out and immediately show race-winning speed is encouraging, not only for him, but also for us as fans, because he's another rider now who we can rely on in this championship fight, and we want all the contenders we can get, obviously.
Yeah, and obviously that allowed then, Tim an easy route towards the finish line. What did you make of Tim's performance in that first race? I thought he looked solid, personally.
Well, it's an interesting one, because leaving Matterley, all that I could think about was, wow, Tim looks amazing. Like, he's so dominant, this was incredible. And then once I thought about him more, I was like, well, Jeremy could have quite easily won that first moto. Obviously, he crashed, as we saw there. And then Tim didn't win the second moto. So maybe this is a case where the results don't tell the full story, and although it looks like Tim was very dominant as he crosses the finish there, actually, if you're there, you're watching every lap, both Prado and Seewer are closer than maybe the results told us at the end of the weekend.
And what about race 2? Tim Geiser didn't make the best start, but again, picking off riders at will, it seemed. Were you more impressed with this performance from him? How did you see that second one? Because it was an exciting race as well.
Oh, yeah. The second moto was really impressive from Tim. And to pass each of his main competitors is obviously quite a statement. We all think that Matterley is a Tim track, so maybe that wasn't surprising. He got mediocre starts, again, not surprising. That's kind of become Tim's MO. But for him to actually go through each of the people who he's got to battle for this championship is obviously quite a statement from him. But also quite a statement from Prado at the end there, because he set his fastest lap on the very last lap. So that, again, is his way of just responding and kind of saying, hey, I'm going to be here the whole way. You can't count me out.
Pass of the weekend here?
Oh, yeah, it was something a little bit special, wasn't it? That was Tim's, well, that was kind of a spot for everyone, I feel like, all weekend. We saw crashes there, passes there. That was where it all happened. And even going back to 2018, that was where it all happened there as well.
And it happened again?
Yeah, the less said about that, the better, I think.
Yeah.
But that is, again, that is kind of Tim's MO. Poor starts, little mistakes like that. That is the... Okay, if you're the Yamaha guys, Prado, you're like, okay, Tim caught me, Tim passed me, Tim did all that. But also he's still making those mistakes.
Obviously, just ran out of time. It was Jorge Prado went on to win his first ever race, actually, at Matterley Basin, even though he didn't win the Grand Prix. Who has the upper hand coming into round 2? I know Tim's leading the championship, but in terms of what you saw last weekend?
I think Tim's got the upper hand right now, but I think Prado's going to have that by the end of the weekend. I think this will be a Prado weekend.
What about an MX2?
I find it hard to bet against Vial ever, but aside from Vial, I'd look at Kai de Wolf to do something this weekend.
Okay. Obviously, we're back 2-day format as well.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I enjoyed a 2-day format. It's nice to you get to enjoy it all a little more track time, a little more talk time. Yeah. You just get to kind of embrace the whole MXGP experience a bit more.
And obviously, we're back here now at Mantova. Not been here in a while.
No. I almost didn't recognise it when I walked in.
Haven't missed it then.
Mantova will not stop until it has all 20 rounds of the championship. It just will not stop.
There we go.
Be careful what you wish
2023, we're here for a 20-round series because MX Vice Lewis Phillips wants that to happen. Lewis, pleasure as always. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
But before we do go, just a quick reminder what we've got coming up on MXGP-TV today. We'll be back at 1:40 with the first race from WMX, and then at 2:25 EMX 250 race 1, and we round out the day with the qualifying races. And of course, we're back tomorrow morning as well with the second races from WMX and EMX 250 and the main events from MX2 and MXGP. Well, look, we're out of time. That was our second live studio show of the year here in Lombardia. We'll be back in 2 weeks when we return to Patagonia. Yes. And looking forward to that one. Missed it and missed the people there as well. So see you in Argentina 2 weeks' time. From me, from Lisa, from Lewis, and thanks to our guests. We'll see you then. Bye for now.